Hello, it's Gabby here for you. Before we jump onto this week's podcast, I just want to let you know about 2 ways that you can work with me. First of all, I do one-to-one coaching and I do that via Zoom, so we can jump on a Zoom call at a time to suit you. The second thing I've got for you is an online coaching course that's 12 modules that you can download straight away now. There will be a link somewhere around these podcast notes. And this is the course that I've designed, and it's got everything in it that I wish I'd have known when I finished cancer treatment and I was lost. So you can download that course now and you can start working towards making this your happiest and healthiest year ever. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello there, it's Gabby here from Confidence After Cancer, and I hope this finds you well. This week's podcast is all about finding meaning, and I'm particularly talking to people who have been through a cancer diagnosis. But as with so many of these things, it also applies to people who maybe have some sort of other crisis, whether it's a health crisis, a relationship crisis, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. It's a major life event sometimes can just stop us in our tracks. And for so many people think, I thought I had a plan and I was on my way to achieving what I wanted to achieve. And actually this event that I've just been through has absolutely thrown me off track. So I'm going to talk about finding meaning after a cancer diagnosis, what it meant to me and what it meant to some people that I've worked with as well. And I'm going to give you 3 tips really on how you can move forward. If you're finding that, you've been through a major event, maybe a cancer diagnosis, it may be something else, but it's something where you think, actually, I'm not really sure who I am anymore. And what can I do about that? So I've got 3 areas that I can give you some guidance and some share my experiences and some experiences of people that I've worked with and see if they're helpful for you. So the first one really is reflecting on your values, beliefs and priorities. And quite often we just get caught up in life, don't we? And sometimes it's to do with a job. You might put on the persona of the role that you've got. Sometimes it can be raising a family, and again you put on the role of a mother or father or whatever you play in that role. But quite often as we grow up and as we get older, we kind of lose ourselves a little bit. And so sometimes taking some time out for a cancer diagnosis, not that anybody wants to take time out, but if you've been forced to take time out for a cancer diagnosis, what it can allow you to do is to spend some time reflecting on what is important to you. What are your values? What are your beliefs? And what are your priorities? And quite often, as I say, lots of us have busy lives, and we spend our time doing things that we think we have to do, things that maybe somebody else puts in our schedule. It might be a job, it might be family commitments, it might be other things. But quite often our life can be just taken up with things that actually don't fulfill us anymore, don't bring us joy, don't make us happy. So I would, again, I'm a big believer in a notebook or a journal. Just spend some time thinking about, well, actually, what are my values? What's important to me? And I've got a really good example of somebody that I heard that was trying to start a business. And she did this exercise of thinking, why did she want to start a business? And it was because she wanted freedom. She wanted time with her family, and she wanted freedom. And she was making a range of skincare, I think it was, all cosmetics, something like that. And she was passionate about what she did. She absolutely loved it. And then she was approached by a big company, a big department store, who said, oh, well, we've got some great news for you. We can give you a stand, an area in our store, but we really need you to be there all day on a Saturday, and we need you to work certain hours, and we want you to be there because you're the face of the business. And she went away and thought about it and thought, well, actually, I'm so ambitious for my company. I can't believe, I'm getting this recognition. If I was in this big store, I'm going to get a lot of new customers. I'm going to make a lot of money, and that'll be amazing. It's going to help me move my business forward. But when she went away and reflected on what her values were freedom and time with her family. And that kind of went away from what this company was offering her. And so kind of with a heavy heart, she rejected that offer because she knew it wasn't true to her values. Now, if her values had been just make as much money as I can in a short amount of time, perfect. That would have been a great offer for her. But sometimes, again, we try women particularly, try to please everybody and try and think, well, that's a good opportunity, or that's a good thing for me to do. I can't say no. But we've always got choices, and it's quite a lot easier if you make those choices based on some real focus that you've given to your values. What is important to you? Is it your family? Is it freedom? Now, I talk about freedom as if that's a good thing. For some people, freedom is an amazing thing. That's what they want. That's what they want to achieve. Financial freedom, people talk about a lot. But for some people, that's really scary. That's not what they're about. For some people, they really like security. And so the idea of freedom and being an entrepreneur isn't just a nightmare to them. So it's a very personal thing for you to work through, either by yourself or with a coach. A coach can guide you to sort of elicit the values that you've got in your life. Think about the times when you were happiest. What was it about those times that were happiest? You know, and if you've got big ambitions, some people say, oh, I want to achieve this thing. It might be a money. Say you want, people have got a money goal. It's not the money that they want. It's what they can do with that money. And again, what is it? Is it time with family? Is it time to travel? Is it time to indulge, your own hobbies? What is it that you want that money for? It's not the pounds in the bank, is it? It's about the value that you attach to that. So reflecting on your values can really help you find meaning in your life, because sometimes, as I say, we get swept along, and people can go years sometimes without really thinking about what they want. And I heard a saying, somebody said, most people spend more time planning their summer holidays than they do their lives. So if you were to plan your life and you had everything in it that you wanted, what would it look like? Just leave you that question for now. The other thing is beliefs and priorities. So a similar vein really to values, but it's what's important for you. What do you believe? Do you believe we are here and your destiny is preordained? Or do you believe that you can change your destiny? Do you believe that you can grow, that you can learn new skills? How does that sit with you? And what are your priorities? Is your priority to make a lot of money? Is your priority to reach the top of your career? Is your priority to actually just chill out a bit and spend more time with your family, or spend more time on a beach? Whatever it is, there's no right and wrong answer for these things. It is always what's important to you. So if you're really searching for meaning and you feel like you've lost your way, just reconnecting with, well, what are my values? What do I believe about life? What is true for me? What do I want to believe about life? And what are my priorities? And that's something, as a coach, I spend a lot of time working with people about what they want and what they want their lives to be, because we've all got choices. And sometimes, we live it, if you're lucky enough to live in the modern world, we've got too much choice. I remember, not that long ago, when then we had 3 TV channels, and now we've got, I don't know, hundreds of TV channels, and it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes to think, oh, what do we want to watch? It's Friday night, we'll settle down with a bottle of wine and maybe some nice food and think about what we want to watch. And sometimes it's just so much choice. So if that's something I can help you with, let me know. Okay, the second thing I would say about finding meaning that really helps people when they are lost is helping other people. Okay, and you might think, well, I've got a lot on my plate. I don't know if I've got anything left to give it to other people. And that's fine for a short amount of time. If you are ill, I'm not saying to you, if you're ill or you've got a real crisis, that you should just jump up and start working for other people. But if you've got some time in your schedule, and again, it might be letting go of some commitments that you've got that are not floating your boat anymore, some commitments that you've got that are not helping you to create the life that you live. Could you be volunteering? Could you be advocating? Maybe some people after a cancer diagnosis spend a lot of time fundraising, and I've done that in the past as well, and it really helped me as well to focus about other people less fortunate than myself, and a charity or a cause that I really believed in that could really use the money. And advocating for cancer awareness is something that people do as well, because we all sort of sail along until we get a diagnosis thinking cancer is something that happens to other people until it touches us. And so advocating or volunteering or supporting other people, that can really give your life meaning. And there's a lot of studies, I think, about happiness, and about the happiest people are people who give to others. And, if you're thinking about it, it's quite altruistic. You're not doing it in a selfish way, but it's a byproduct of thinking about other people that are less fortunate than yourself, that could use the benefit of your time, of your experience. What have you learned about life that you can share with other people? What skills have you got that you could share with other people? I've got a friend who does jewellery making classes with a group of refugees, and you can imagine they've come to this country and they're quite, been through a very traumatic experience. And some very kind person has taken the time to find the resources and a location and a venue, and to sit down with some people and do cookery classes or jewellery making classes, and it takes her an hour out of her week, but she gets so much back from it. She learns about other people, other cultures. And for those people as well, it must be such a relief to find somebody who is not hostile to them, who's warm and who's welcoming. So what a lovely thing that is. And the third thing I'd say, that if you're really struggling to find meaning in your life, is to think about reconnecting with passions or pursuits, hobbies, if you like, or just interests that you've got that bring you joy and fulfillment. Okay. And it can be whatever it again is, I could reel off 100 things. It's what's important to you. And once I had an appointment with the doctor, and she said to me, "Oh, what do you do in your life that brings you joy?" And I said, "Oh, well, I used to sing in a choir, but I don't do that anymore. I'm very busy." And she just looked at me and said, "Busy doing what?" And that to me was such a profound question. Busy doing what? We're all busy, but busy doing what? Watching TV, going to work, whatever it is, cleaning the house. You need to make some time, I think. It's my experience. I'm never here to tell you what to do. My experience is, if you want wellness in all areas of your life, how about thinking about reconnecting with your passions or your pursuits that bring you joy, that make you happy, that take you out of your headspace sometimes if you've got thoughts that are going round and round that are not healthy, that are not supporting you. I spoke to a lady recently and she was telling me, "Oh, I love doing pin art." I've never heard of this thing. It was you put pins in I'm not sure what the terminology is, but she makes pictures with pins, coloured pins, and she makes beautiful pictures. And it's not so much that she wants the picture, it's the fact that when she's doing this, she has to really concentrate and really focus. And she can't think about the quite disturbing thoughts that she had in her head, because she's a cancer patient that's going through a really tough time, and she is worried about her survival rate. She's worried about a lot of stuff. She's got financial problems. She's got also relationship problems. All of us that have been through cancer can relate to that. So many thoughts and problems swirling around in your head. But sometimes just focusing on pin art or whatever it is that you can focus on takes you away from those crazy thoughts that are going round and round in your head, that are not serving you. They're not getting you closer to a solution. They're just distracting you from the very important job you've got of recovery. And recovery, we're not just physical bodies. The doctors in the UK are great if you've got a cancer, removing the tumour. But I believe it's more than that. For full recovery, it is mind, body and spirit all need to be nurtured, all need to be cared for, all need to be helped to get back into full health. And you can take major steps in doing that yourself by following these 3 steps. So I'm not saying that we can take away pain and suffering, okay? But if we integrate what we've learned into a larger narrative of growth, resilience and hope, because it's all about, for me, my recovery has all been about improving my resilience. Life is not always easy. Things happen. I've seen so many awful things happen to really nice people. It's all part of life. We all have our ups and downs. But to cope with that, there's a lot you can do yourself to develop your resilience. And I'm not saying, well, what a great thing it is to have a cancer diagnosis, because it's clearly not. But what it can give you, if you grasp this as a learning opportunity, is it can help to develop skills of developing your own resilience when those awful things that happen to us all come along in life, whether it's bereavement or the death of a loved one, or it's a financial problem or the loss of a job, or the breakdown of a relationship, whatever it is. If you can build up your inner resilience, your inner strength, you have then got the skills and the coping strategies to sort of ride the storm. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying it's all about, it's not the event, it's how you react to it and what you can learn from it and how you can grow. And I've tried very hard and I'm still working through it. I'm not saying I'm the finished article. I work with a coach. I'm still developing. I'm still learning. But I can see I've made so much progress by being open-minded to growth. I want to personally grow. I want to get better at things. I want to develop skills that I've got, and I want to learn from the mistakes that I've made in the past and not make those mistakes again. And so I'm learning, I'm working with a coach. I'm also coaching other people, sharing what I've learned, although coaching is not about telling people what to do. It's holding their hand while they develop their own path. And I love to do that. And for me, that is what gives my life meaning, is when somebody tells me how much I've helped them. If I can see, the changes they've made in their life. I've not done that for them. They've done it themselves. But I've shared my experience and I've helped them. And that gives me a warm glow inside. It really does. It gives my life meaning. So if you're struggling with finding meaning, or you're struggling with anything to do with a cancer diagnosis or life after treatment finishes, which for me was my darkest hour, get in touch with me. If I don't know the answer to your problem, I bet I know somebody who can help you. But I'm always here for you. And as always, thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot to me. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe and stay sane. We'll speak soon, my darling. Bye-bye.